Just get up one day and find yourself. You need to go out there and create the version of yourself that you want, in all honesty. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to do it today. For me, I've been through so many different experiences where I feel like the person I am today and simply the person I was last year are completely different and couldn't even compare. I wouldn't even claim her. What you need to stop doing is simply self-reflecting. Now, one thing about me, I'm a journaling babe, but it gets to a point where everybody realizes it's enough journaling and it's time to start moving. And the reality is that clarity comes from movement and not overthinking. So that means that you need to stop overthinking, you need to stop just writing about the things that you really want out of life and start doing movement. I genuinely truly believe that by taking small steps, tiny steps, okay, it can be so minuscule, but if it means that you're moving forward, it means that something is going to be changing for you. And forward movements is better than nothing at all. It's better than sitting at home, better than bed rotting, and better than just lying at home being miserable, to be honest. And I know you don't want to be that. And again, the person that you want to create, the person that you want to be in the future, is not sitting at home. Never going to get to that version by just imagining that you want to be her. You need to do some form of movement. The thing I started doing recently, not even recently, about 2 years ago, is I started solo traveling, and I can genuinely and truly attribute this to completely changing my outlook on life. I was the type of person that was so codependent on other people. I could not go out to do anything without someone else with me. I would have to call my friends, I would have to call my sister. I could simply not do something on my own, and I felt very crippled by that. I felt like there's so much I want to experience of life, but I simply cannot move forward and move towards that because I am terrified of doing it alone. And the reality is I had to start by really small steps. So what I was talking about again, forward movement. So I started by just little small dates, taking myself out on dates on the weekends, going to the cinema on my own. That was probably the first thing that I did. And if you're slightly introverted, I would genuinely suggest going to the cinema first because it's something so small and minuscule again, and no one's looking at you. You're in the dark, you don't have to worry at all. Then I would start moving to day dates. So I would go to brunch on my own, and I would go to an activity on my own, and I went pottery, which was so much fun. And again, I ended up discovering so much about myself from that. I love doing pottery, like honestly and truly, that could be a hobby for me because I genuinely enjoyed it so much, especially as a beginner. Okay, so forward movement, it is better than nothing. As I said, I built up to solo traveling. I didn't just get up one day and go, yeah, I'm gonna solo travel. Like, I was way too scared to do that, absolutely terrified. I had to work myself up to that point. Does that make sense? Big tip is you need to step outside of your comfort zone. Comfort zones are literally what are keeping you stuck. I cannot reiterate this so much because that was me. I was the queen of being comfortable. I was the queen of like, I don't want to do anything scary. Like I was like, not me, not me. I was terrified of doing things that were scary. And then you get to a certain point when you get fed up. You honestly get fed up because you're like, you know what? I feel stuck, and really and truly your surroundings also probably make you feel stuck. So you need to do something to get outside of your comfort zone. As I could suggest again, doing some sort of day date, spending some time alone could be really good for you. But the idea is here that you have to push outside what you're comfortable in. I would really, really suggest doing something completely polar opposite to who you are, which sounds insane. For someone who is very introverted, go out there and find the most extroverted activity literally on earth and push yourself into doing that. Make sure the ticket is non-refundable and go and do it. If you are somebody who's extremely extroverted, go and find the most introverted activity ever, because again, you're going to find out so much about yourself and you're going to be able to discover parts of who you are through doing that. So again, the best thing that I can suggest is doing something polar opposite to who you feel like you are currently, whether it's in activities, whether it's in terms of setting your environment and then pushing yourself into that. I used to be so introverted, and I knew the one thing that I absolutely hated doing was going to events on my own and going networking, because that required small talk and I was incapable of that at a certain point. When I started going to networking events on my own and pushing myself there, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not even introverted, what the hell? I can do small talk, but I have never placed myself in environments where I had no choice but to have small talk. And the more I placed myself at these networking events, the more I placed myself at these events, the more I got better at doing that. And honestly and truly, life changing. Life changing. Now I know that I can put myself in damn near any setting and I'm going to make it work. and I can suggest that to you too. Please put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable. Of course, always safe, but that is how you grow towards curating who it is that you actually want to be and creating that version of yourself. Another tip is upskilling yourself. Skills build identity. So the best way to think of this is, for me, for example, I can't cook to save my life, but I will go and place myself in a baking class or a cooking class because, again, identity really builds different types of characters within you. I feel like it expands my character arc. It allows new traits to come up that I didn't even know existed. Again, like I went for pottery, I would have never thought I'm artistic in that sense. I was always like, oh, I'm just a writer. I am not artistic in the sense where I can do pottery or painting or anything like that. But when you go and you upskill yourself, you are able to build different identities within that. And again, it just adds to the person that you're becoming. Turns out I am artistic. I may not be the best one. It may not be, very aesthetic, but I have that in me. And that is a part of me now. So if you want to curate the person you want to be and create a new version of yourself, you need to go and upskill yourself in something totally new. And honestly, it's so amazing for your brain as well. I feel like genuinely your brain is growing too. And again, you're just learning a new version of yourself and you're building towards that bigger, greater version. Experience will teach you who you are and who you are not. You will learn through different experiences what you like and what you don't like. I'm going to take this again back to solo traveling. Because I was forced to spend that time alone, I was able to develop a taste of what I like and what I don't like. So when I came back home, I was like, actually, I don't like that. It was crazy because for years, like, here's another example. I would eat sushi with my friends. I don't like sushi. I hate sushi. I think it tastes so bland. I think it's horrible. And yet, I didn't even have the confidence to say to my friends, I don't like this. Because I wanted to be in the social setting, so I was like, okay, I'll just eat it. I didn't enjoy that. When I came back from my solo trip, I remember going out with my friends and being like, I don't like sushi, guys, and I'm not going to eat this again. So I stopped forcing myself to do something I didn't want to do. I wasn't negotiating with myself anymore. I was simply putting my foot down. I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I have amazing friends who were like, you're such a weirdo for not saying something earlier. You don't have to eat this. But again, having different experiences like that taught me what I like and what I don't like. Things that I don't care about too much is being in a fancy restaurant. Guys, you can hate me all you like. I will only go to fancy restaurants to take you pictures. But the whole experience of being in a fancy restaurant is simply not for me. I don't care for it. I think it is low-key a waste of time because those environments for me are soul-sucking, soul-draining, they have no culture. It's just boring to me. I would rather go to like a local food shop and it be tiny and cramped and full of culture and art on the walls and have great food there. And that's what I realized again from solo traveling. Through these different experiences, you end up realizing what you like and what you don't like. Another thing, I love being near the ocean. I love doing water sports. I had no idea about that. I love surfing. I would have never ever known that I am first capable of doing that and that I would absolutely love it if I didn't do it. And again, I genuinely believe if I went with my friends on holiday, I would have never gone surfing because they don't like doing that sort of water sports and I do, but I would have been too afraid to be like, well, just because I like it, we should go. Probably wouldn't have done that because again, when you're on holiday with other people, you're all compromising in some aspect. I realise what I like and what I don't like now. And again, I feel like it just builds your character arc. And confidence is earned. I genuinely believe this because you don't wake up one day and you're suddenly confident. There's no such thing as that. It's the same as when I said, you're not going to wake up one day and find yourself. It is impossible. You're not going to eat, pray, love through your 20s, through your 30s. I don't believe in that. You can only go and build confidence bit by bit. And one thing you have to do is keep promises to yourself. One thing that I learned, for example, just with the gym, keeping the promise of going to the gym consistently for myself allowed me to go closer to building my dream body and being that version of myself whose health is great, who can move a lot more, who considers movement a really big aspect of their lives. If I didn't go and do that, if I didn't keep the promise to myself, if I didn't get up every single morning and go, you have to keep promises to yourself. And every time you don't keep a promise to yourself, you are taking down the confidence that you've built up. You are crumbling parts of yourself that are trying to get up there. You have to keep those promises to yourself. And you have to realize again, confidence is built day by day. Do something so small for yourself every single day. And before you know it, you will think you're the baddest on earth. Last but not least, your future self needs you to take risks. Okay, your future self is banking on you taking those risks that you're absolutely terrified of doing, that you know you want to do right now and you know you need to do for yourself. Okay, so you need to start taking small risks and then build up to the large ones if you're terrified at first. Okay, because I know this idea is so scary for everyone. Build it slowly. Do a little risky thing here or there. Do something a little bit unexpected here or there. Be a bit more spontaneous. Find that that future version of yourself will love you. And you will become exactly who you want to be. You will become that girl. If you want to be an it girl, you will be her. If you want to be someone who's super confident, you will be her. But it also takes a little bit of risk. And really and truly, every single point that I've given you so far is pushing you outside of that comfort zone and is begging you to do something uncomfortable for the sake of growth. Okay? So honestly and truly, I can't wait to see who you're going to become. I can't wait to see this version of you. And I will do the same thing, and I'll keep the promises to myself and do these steps too. But yeah, follow me for more recommendations like this. So leave down in the comments below, is there something that you have done this year that you feel like is allowing you to work towards that version of yourself? Because I know there's still a few for me. But yeah, follow me for the next video. I don't know when I'm going to post it, but I will. And I don't know what it's going to be on. But again, I think this channel is just about creating a safe space for the girlies and pushing you guys to be those better versions of yourself. Anyways, I don't know what my signature needs to be, like how I clock out. Do I clock out like this? Do I clock out like this? I have no clue. We'll see you next time.